Okay, we're recording. Nobody say anything that you don't want HR to hear. On that note, let's talk about dirty words. In today's Alexandria Echo Press, we have the Paula says I didn't do it. We have the word public, except for it doesn't have an L in it. Thankfully, it's like, a subhead within a story, so it's not in really big type or anything. But obviously, that's awkward. We don't want to do that. After this meeting, I am going to send out an email that includes the video guide that I made a while ago for how to set your dynamic spelling in InDesign so that it highlights all the filthy words. And then I would like all of you to watch the video, make sure that that's all set up in your InDesign. If it's not, set it up. And then I expect everyone to reply to that email once you've ensured that you have it set up. If you have questions and need help setting up, you can reply with that too. But I just want to make sure that everybody has that and has it set up, because that can save us from some bad stuff. I will include an attachment with Jan's list of profanity. It's been a few years since Jan put together that list, and I don't know if I don't keep up with the kids. I don't know if there's new swears or things like that. So if you happen to notice that there are dirty words or terms or words that it's like, like public, where it's really easy to accidentally put that other word, if there's other words like that you can think of that aren't on the list, please let me know and I'll add them to the list so we can continue to have the most comprehensive list of profanity in the Northern Hemisphere. You guys, I started a really long talk for this job. So anyways, let's keep the L's in public unless we're actually talking about the other stuff. So on that note, we have some changes coming up. Oh, sorry. Emily asked if there's word from the Roxon team on getting a better spell check on their platform. I don't have any updates on that yet. I think my next meeting with them is on Tuesday, so I will add it to my list to check on to see if we have any updates on that. Because that would be really helpful, and it would be helpful if that was some kind of dynamic spelling too, so that we could again put the dirty words. And then I also put like Bemdigi, because it's really easy to type your D and I the other way around when you're typing Bemidji, or Wilmer with the one L, because it's easy to forget your second L. Some of those kind of things I also put in there. I put over because it's my pet peeve when it says over when it really should say more than. So now every time the word over is used, it just underlines it for me so I can fix it. But probably the rest of you are a little more sane than I am, so you don't need that one. But so got that. With the new way of sending our pages to the e-paper, we're getting pretty close on that. One thing that's going to be quite different in how the e-edition looks from how it looks now with that is, right now, if I give you a picture of a whole entire person and you crop it to just the mugshot, when you look at that photo in the e-edition, it's just the mugshot that you have cropped it to. In the new version, if I give you a whole entire photo and you crop it to a mugshot, when the e-edition has that photo, it's going to be the whole entire photo. So I just want to walk you through how to crop the photo. In Roxon, in case you need to do that, because this is the theme for the day. This would be if, oh, no, I hit the wrong button again. Sorry. This would be if, for whatever reason, the photo as it is cannot be shared. So like 99% of the time, you're not going to have to do anything to the photo. But if, for instance, instead of being this backdrop, this was just like a wall behind him, and over here on the right, like this was swear words, we would need to actually crop this photo in Photoshop to get rid of that swear. Otherwise, it's going to end up in the edition, even if we crop it off on the page. You guys following so far? So the only time that we would do this is if there's objectionable content. So if it's got swears, body parts, I don't know, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all of your things. You guys know it shouldn't be in print. I don't need to explain that to you. Then we would need to do that. The other time that we would need to do that is if it's a mugshot of somebody, but the photo that we got has 3 different people in it, and then we just have a note, that we're supposed to just crop it to the person in the middle. We would need to actually crop the image so that when it goes to the edition, it only shows the person that we're actually talking about. So that would really be the only times, is essentially just when the photo in its full context would either be inappropriate or confusing. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about it. To do this, all you need to do is have this photo open, and then just click this edit button right here. When you hit that, it is going to open this up in, it's going to give me this thing again. Okay. All right. So this one, it decided the default is this, which is fine, because in here, you can just hit this and then just crop here, and it's faster than Photoshop anyways. So then you would just crop the photo, close it, and when you close it, then I'm not actually going to mess with this photo because I don't want to screw anything up. But when you close it, the crop that you made here would save. So if at some point you have an extra couple of minutes and you're working on a story, if you want to just do that so that you can open a photo and just like see how to do that, so you know how, go ahead and do that, and then let me know if you have questions. Again, Jennifer says, what happens with duplicating photos for multi-mug appearances? Yeah, for, if they send like a composite mug that has 3 people, we're probably going to need to break that into 3 different files. So you can, download it and then just make 3 yourself and then upload them. Will probably be the easiest, especially given that we will soon have the ability to just drag and drop photos in. So it'll be faster doing the upload. Okay. Another thing with Roxanne and Brightspot, we talked about this a little bit in our manager meeting, is that we are sometimes getting stuff overwritten because it's already been sent and then someone else sends it. So when you get to this page in Brightspot, if it's already been sent, don't send it again unless it's because, the editor let you know that there's an update. And so you're purposely trying to update the story. Otherwise, you're going to end up overwriting some stuff, which could cause problems for other people. Excuse me. And we're trying not to do that. One concern I did here is that some of you are hitting that send to print just so you can find the ID number so that you can search for the article, which makes sense. So I wanted to show you that up here in the address bar, after the CMS that, /edit.jsp $ID equals, then you have the ID number. You go from here and then stop right before that ampersand. So this would be the ID number that you would look for. So this ID number is the same as this ID number. that this story has. So it is in the URL, so you don't have to hit send to print again to get that ID number if you need it. All right. Best meeting ever. You guys are excited. Michael has made a bunch of new templates that allow fact boxes. It's lovely. It's working really great with the e-edition. We've had some questions about what is and isn't a fact box. So anytime that there's essentially like the last section of a story, that's where they usually put it, kind of feels like a different story or like an item about the story. It's usually like where to go, and then it's the information on like this is when the play is, where it is, how much it costs, here's the website, you know, the if you go box kind of things. It can be you know, in a story about mental health stuff, you know, if you or someone you know is in crisis and needs help, here's the hotline number, that kind of stuff. If it says, you know, breakout box or something like that, those are all stuff that we would use that fact box for. So keep an eye out for that stuff. If you have questions about whether or not something should be broken out in a fact box, just ask the editor if they want that as a breakout box or not. I'll help you clear that up. Okay. Sorry, my computer keeps dinging. It's driving me crazy. I'm having a day. Just one other Roxanne note. If you've made a copy of a story that multiple people are using, please make sure that you detach your appearance before you start making any changes. We've had several issues lately where people have overwritten other people's stories, so just make sure that you're being cognizant of that. NDNA entries for that are due shortly. So I'm going to send out a list of the categories that we can potentially win awards in. North Dakota has a lot more design categories than Minnesota does. This would be anything that you've done for Jamestown, Dickinson, Fargo, or Grand Forks during the calendar year of 2023. So I'm, you know, a lot of them are just one page. So I'm sure most of you can find at least one page to submit. So I'll send you guys the categories and information, and then I'll ask that you send those all to me, and then I will take care of getting them all entered into the contest so that you guys can all get fancy pieces of paper because you deserve them. You deserve more than fancy pieces of paper, but fancy pieces of paper is what I can do today. And then I just have one other thing, and that is just so that you guys know that this is coming up. As you all have probably noticed, our designer website and our IMOP website are really quite out of date at this point, you know, with other references to page track, all that kind of stuff. So we are working on putting together a new website. In finding stuff, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of our documentation on how to do things that we either need a new one because the old one is totally worthless, or things need to be updated to reflect current processes. So in the next week or so, I'll be reaching out to each of you. Everybody will have one document that they'll be responsible for either creating or updating. And I'm going to, you know, try to base it on stuff that I know your skills and your interests are in. Don't worry, Cindy, you don't have to do the scoreboard one. I wouldn't want to either. So, but just know that's coming, and I would, you know, I'm going to ask that you get those done probably by like early February. So you'll have about a month to work on them, and none of them are, you know, it's not going to be write down absolutely everything for how we get a story from the budget to Roxanne to design, and like, you know, like you know, it'll be like a smaller chunk of the process, so it shouldn't be a huge time suck, but we need new documentation for that stuff. So the easiest way to do it is just kind of split it. We all do a little bit, and we'll get that done. So that way we have better resources for all of us that aren't from, you know, 4 years ago now, I guess. All right. Any questions or anything? Michael or Emily, you have anything? Jennifer asked how long until that drag and drop photo capability. I'm hoping soon. That one I think is in the small update that we're getting shortly. So that should be in the next few weeks. Again, I have that meeting on Tuesday, and so I'll get updated timelines. Um, but yeah, because we'll get the small update, and then we have a bigger update that we're supposed to get before the end of March. And that update is very nice. I'm very much looking forward to that. It's going to make things a lot easier for all of you. It gets so. All right. Well, if that's all you guys got, go ahead and go back to your actual jobs instead of listening to me. Look for that email from me on potty language and make sure that you check that and just let me know that you did it so that you don't have to hear from me again. Thank you all. Have a great day.